It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Welcome to Series 31, looking at the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Zambia. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccerphiles Canada. I'm Kevin and this is Series 31 on the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode covers Zambia's players. So we move on to Section 3 and we welcome new listeners to Section 3 here because we're going to release this as a short version of the mediacast. On Zambia's players. In the full version then, I'm saying this to those who are joining us, we did introduce the candidates and their likelihood of making the final squad, and we talked about who has been the main player in each position and the position, kind of a summary of the position. So for those just listening to the short version, if you want those details, the full version is available. And there you'll find the reasons for our predictions that I'm going to present in the review here and some career information on those players. For those who have listened, though, this is just a review summary. And as I've been saying throughout, we're not predicting the starters here. We're going to save that for part 2, which will come out in early to mid-December. So let's go through the team here. We have a strange situation with the manager. He was fired recently after their World Cup qualifying campaign didn't go well. So in October of 2025, he was fired and they don't have a new manager. So we'll have to wait to see how that story turns out in part 2. For goalkeepers, we have a definite candidate in Lawrence Mulenga, a likely candidate in Tosta Nsabata, 2 possible candidates, Charles Kalumba and Patrick Chuma. And I won't go into the candidates below that, the possible but unlikely or seemingly off the squad candidates. So really 4 realistic candidates there. Moving upfield, we have central defenders and 2 definite candidates, Kabaso Chongo and Gift Mfande. And we have the likely candidate, Dominic Chanda, and 2 possible candidates, Frankie Musonda and veteran Stopila Sunzu. Those 5 candidates for central defense. Left back position, we've seen they've had trouble filling the position. One of their the one guy who did play that position, Roderick Kabwe, now seemingly off the squad. And so we have an out-of-position player, Lubambo Musonda, seems to have taken over the left back position. We have no likely candidates for left back, but at the possible level, Kebson Kamanga, who's actually a central defender. So again, out of position players there. On the right side, we have no definite or likely candidates, but 2 possible candidates in Benedict Chapeshi and Matthews Banda. That's it for the defense. Moving up to the midfield, they usually have 3 midfielders, and in the middle of those 3 is a defensive midfielder. And we have a definite candidate in Benson Sakala, even though recently he's moved back to central defense. And 2 likely candidates, Miguel Chewa and Kelvin Kapumbu. Those are the defensive midfielders. Central midfielders, we've divided into left and right. And so on the left, we have a definite candidate in Obino Chisala and a likely candidate in Emmanuel Banda. And then on the right, we have a definite candidate in Kings Kangwa, a likely candidate in Edward Chilufa. He's a versatile player coded as a right winger, but has played most of his starts in the midfield during this period. So we put him here. Edward Chilufya, and a possible candidate in Klatus Chama. All 3 of those players do play in different positions. We see them maybe playing as attackers as well. Okay, that's the midfield though. We move on to the attacking midfield. Over on the left side, a definite candidate in Joseph Sabobo Banda, and likely candidates Fashion Sakala and Kelvin Kampamba. And we explained why Fashion Sakala is just at the likely level here. He was off the team for 20 months is why. Okay, let's go to the right attacker side. No definite or likely candidates, and a possible candidate in Lamek Banda there, but another position where they've struggled to fill, and we'll probably see an out-of-position player in that role. Central attackers, we actually moved some of them around to positions they've been playing in because Zambia really doesn't use this position. So we're just left here with Chipyoka Songa at the portable level. And then the forward line, we have two definite candidates in Patson Daka and Kennedy Musonga. And Fashion Sakala also actually coded as a forward, but we moved him to the left attacker role. So that's what we have here. And let's move into our closing. Well, we've reviewed the candidates. A review of injuries for Zambia, just like in 2023, they're kind of blessed with no injury concerns. So in part two, we'll review this, but it would be players injured between now and then, and they'll be hoping to have as much luck as they had in the previous cup with no injuries. So closing thoughts, well, we have a couple of positions. It's a pretty thin squad. We have a lot of players playing out of position on Zambia because they don't have a huge pool to choose from, it seems. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Let's preview part two, which will come out in early to mid-December. Once the final rosters are published, that is why we have to put off part two until we know who was actually selected. So we're going to summarize. No, we did the summary of positions in part one. What am I talking about? So we'll look at the selections and let you know who was selected and who wasn't. We'll pay particular attention to any notable non-selections and then any surprise inclusions. For example, I wouldn't be surprised if Stopila Sunsu is chosen again. Any new players, and again, I wouldn't be surprised because the squad is a bit thin. If there are any injuries to report, we'll do that. And then one of the main purposes of part two then is to predict the starters. So we hope you'll join us for that, and we will see you either for our next team or our next look at Zambia. We would like to thank Pixabay and Cold Fingers for the wonderful music used in this media cast. The title of the piece is Eid Mubarak.